September 30th, 2025. News channels everywhere flashed the same headline: Unknown Filipino to address UN General Assembly. Inside the United Nations, tension crackled. World leaders and journalists exchanged curious, skeptical glances. Who was this man? Why was he given this rare honor? Whispers filled the grand hall. Online #WhoIsLeoRise trended worldwide. Was he a dissident, a tech billionaire, or a last-minute replacement? The mystery only fueled anticipation. From New York to Manila, millions tuned in, sensing history in the making. For Filipinos, it was a moment of pride and confusion. A fellow countryman on the world's biggest stage. The hopes of millions seemed to rest on this unknown speaker. The UN Secretary General approached the podium, voice solemn. He didn't use titles. He simply said, "Now a voice that represents the heart of our global community. I present Mr. Leo Reyes from the Philippines." A young man with kind eyes and humble posture walked to the stage. No tailored suit, no designer watch, just Leo about to change the world. The room fell silent. The world was listening. Every camera, every eye, every hope was fixed on him. In that moment, anything felt possible. The world held its breath. Leo Reyes was not born into privilege. He grew up in Tondo, Manila, sprawling slums, resilient people. His father drove a jeepney. His mother was a seamstress. From them, Leo learned hard work and humility. He saw poverty up close, but it grew his empathy, not bitterness. His community was his extended family. Their struggles were his own. Education became his path. His parents sacrificed so he could study. Leo excelled in school and became a youth leader, organizing cleanups, tutoring, and feeding programs. He was a bridge builder, bringing people together for common causes. A scholarship took him to university where he studied community development. His local projects grew into national movements, connecting farmers to consumers, bringing clean water to villages, advocating for informal settlers. Leo wasn't a politician or celebrity. He was a grassroots leader, trusted by the people he served. His power came from the community, not a title. He was proof that leadership can come from the ground up. Now, the world was about to hear his story. Leo's rise wasn't about personal ambition. It was a collective voice finding a microphone. He spoke for the farmer, the factory worker, the overseas helper, the call center agent. These were the people powering economies, yet rarely heard in power's corridors. Leo's message: every person matters. He brought the conversation back to the human level, championing pakikipagkapwa, shared identity and empathy. Progress, he argued, is measured by the well-being of the most vulnerable. His authenticity resonated because it was real, not performance. His story challenged the idea that leadership is only for the elite. NGOs and civil society groups saw his impact and lobbied for his voice at the UN. They wanted a voice unfiltered by politics or corporate interests. They wanted Leo Reyes. Now the world would find out why. As Leo prepared to speak, another conversation simmered about his accent. Filipino English has its own rhythm and melody, but is often met with prejudice. Many feel pressure to sound more Western, erasing traces of their roots. This bias is rooted in colonialism and cultural hierarchy, creating a ceiling for non-native speakers. Leo knew this struggle well, mocked in school, condescended to in professional settings. He was told to neutralize his accent to be taken seriously. The pressure was immense, the self-doubt real. Millions share this experience, forced to mask their true selves. The world often judges packaging over content. Leo felt the weight of this collective struggle as he stepped onto the world stage, but he was ready to face it. For years, Leo tried to change his accent, practicing in front of mirrors, mimicking news anchors. He felt shame, as if his Filipino tongue was a flaw. The turning point came in a Cordillera village, when an elder told him, "Speak from your heart, not your head. We want the real you." Her words struck him deeply. Leo realized his accent was part of his identity, his family, his culture, his story. To erase it would be to erase himself. He began to see his Filipino English as a bridge, not a barrier. True power, he learned, comes from speaking your truth with conviction. He stopped focusing on pronunciation and started focusing on his message. If his words were sincere, people would listen. This confidence is what he carried to the United Nations. He was ready to speak as himself, and that made all the difference. Filipino English is a vital cog in the global economy, yet often undervalued in leadership. Millions of Filipinos connect the world daily: call center agents, nurses, seafarers. The BPO industry thrives on their English proficiency. Their communication skills are the core asset for global companies, yet a double standard persists, praised in support roles, overlooked for leadership. The global accent is still seen as Western. This bias blocks talented individuals from rising. Leo's presence at the UN challenged this hypocrisy. He proved leadership isn't about accent, but vision and integrity. He represented millions of overseas Filipinos, ambassadors, innovators, leaders. His story highlighted their invisible contributions. He was there to remind the world these workers are more than laborers, they are leaders. At the podium, Leo felt the world's expectations and skepticism. He could imitate an international voice, or he could be himself. He chose authenticity, his superpower. In a world of polished speeches, his vulnerability was disarming. He didn't hide his nerves or pretend expertise. He presented himself as a community organizer, grounded in real experience. This honesty created instant connection. Leaders leaned in, genuinely interested. His humility showed he was there for a message bigger than himself. By being himself, Leo gave others permission to do the same. He proved you don't have to erase your identity to be heard. Your unique story is your strength. Leo embodied a new kind of leadership: vulnerable, empathetic, authentic, and the world noticed. Leo took a deep breath and began. His voice was calm, steady, unmistakably Filipino. Good morning, MGA Kapatid. I am Leo Reyes, not a president, not a king, a son of a jeepney driver and a seamstress from Tondo. He told simple stories: a fisherman worried about his catch, a nurse caring for strangers abroad, neighbors lifting a house together. He invited leaders into his world, not with demands, but with stories of struggle and hope. Then he addressed his accent. Some say I have a strong accent. They are right. It is strong with the stories of my people, the love of my family, the hope of a better future. My accent is not a barrier, it is my English. The hall was silent. Leaders felt his words, not just heard them. He concluded, let us listen to all voices, the quiet, the tired, the hopeful. Let every accent be a song, every story matter. Let a boy from Tondo stand here, not as an exception, but as a promise. Maraming salamat po, thank you very much. The world was moved. His message was clear: every voice belongs. The silence after his speech was full of meaning. He had changed the conversation. He had changed the world. The applause that followed was thunderous. It was more than approval. It was awakening. Leo's words echoed far beyond the hall. A new standard for leadership had been set. The world would never be the same. As Leo finished, a single clap grew into a standing ovation. The applause was thunderous, emotional, leaders, diplomats, journalists on their feet. News headlines changed. The Filipino voice that inspired the world. His speech went viral, praised for courage and authenticity. The focus shifted from accent to message. Filipinos everywhere felt a wave of pride and validation. Their accent, once a source of shame, became a symbol of strength. Leo's speech sparked a global shift. Corporations re-examined biases. Schools discussed linguistic diversity. His story became a case study in true leadership: connection over conformity. He hadn't just given a speech, he'd started a movement. A new era of acceptance for every accent, every voice had begun. The world was listening, finally to everyone, and it all started with Leo Reyes.